Hey guys, so what we're going to look at today is having a vision, things that you actually want to do and achieve in your life, and setting up a bit of a framework so that it's actually doable for you to get there. And so that while you're younger, hopefully you make decisions and you're doing things that will actually get to your goals faster. This is something that I didn't have until I was, I don't know, mid-20s, so like 24, 25, I started to get this idea. Actually, it might have been earlier. It might have been about 22. I think I got my first introduction to this. But had I been shown this, I think when I was younger, I would have been able to achieve a lot more things by the time I was 20. Or if I was shown this when I was 8, it would have been like super exciting. By the time I was 15, I would have been able to do some phenomenal things. I was shown it earlier. So that's sort of what I'm trying to do for you here. I'm trying to save by teaching you this and giving you this input. This is not something that you'll learn at school, by the way. Hopefully, this will help you get to the things that you want faster in life and start to achieve those things. And if you haven't thought about those things yet, don't worry, most people don't. This is giving you an opportunity to think about those things and what you actually want. So we're going to call this, we're just going to be setting up a vision for ourselves. Okay, a vision and direction. And what I want you to think about when we're doing this is you imagine that I'm not very good at drawing, so don't judge me on this. But if there's like we'll call this a plane, right? So they have wings at the end. I don't know. There, something there, put a big tick there. This is a plane. Looks a bit like a fish, right? But this is a plane, okay? So let's say that we're in, let's say Sydney, Australia. So you go to the airport, Sydney, Australia, you walk to the desk, which you don't anymore, you buy tickets online, but let's say you walk to the desk and you go to one of the ladies that's putting all the details in. The first thing that she will ask you, if you're trying to find out a destination, place that you want to go, she's going to ask you, where are you going? If you go to an airport and you don't know where you're going, it's going to be pretty hard to pick the plane to get to a destination that you actually want. So if we don't think about it as you, for example, let's imagine that it's a pilot, right? And this is just the way that flights happen. So you never actually know where you're going when you buy a plane ticket. So you go to the airport, you get on a plane, and no one knows where it's going to go. Chances are, when it lands, if it lands on land, because it might just land in the water, a lot of people probably aren't going to be happy with how they're getting, with the location that you guys arrived at. And this happens to a lot of people in life. A lot of people don't know that that's the destination they want. They don't say, yes, I want to go to, let's say, I want to go to the USA. I want to go to America. I want to go to New York. Because everyone knows New York. By the way, amazing city. If you ever want to go there, definitely do it. If you here don't know that that's where you want to go, then where you could end up is somewhere down here. Let's say maybe you end up in, this is another country, Turkey. And while Turkey might be great, it's definitely not the United States of America, and it's definitely not New York. You'd probably not be very happy that you ended up in Turkey. You'd be like, why? What happened? How did I get here? Right? If you know your destination at the start, it makes it a lot easier to get there. Same with planes, same with pilots. When they know their destination, they understand where they're going, it's a lot easier for them to get to the actual location. Now, there's a very interesting thing to understand here is that with planes or flights or anything of this nature, this is a very long flight, right? I think it's about 15 hours. Or it might be to LA 15 hours. I don't know. Let's say it's roughly 15 hours. 15 hours. That's a long time flying in the air. It's also pretty cool that that's actually even possible. But anyways, 15 hours to fly from Sydney to New York. 98% of that time, the plane is not on course. If this is the best path for the plane to take, what happens is it takes off. It might be up there might be some wind, so it adjusts. It's got to go back there. And then there's a storm, and it's got to go back up this way. It's got to go a little bit higher to get out of the way. And then there's some more wind, and it's got to go back this way. And then it's on course for a bit, and then it's off course again. And then it's got to cross back, and there's more conditions. And So what it does is it never ends up being a straight line. There's always these little adjustments and tweaks that have to be made. But what happens is if the plane's taking off here, we're just going to call this, I'm just going to make this Sydney again. So if the plane's taking off here, you've got New York there, and this is the path, right? Now you know where your destination is in this place. So if you take off and you start heading this way, how quickly can you correct your path? Pretty quick, which gives you the opportunity to jump back and go there and correct. If you don't know that destination though, what can happen is if you take off, and you take off on this way, you're looking pretty good, looking pretty good, looking pretty good, looking pretty good, what's happened, what's happened, what's happened? Boom. And we've completely missed the destination that we were going because we didn't know where we wanted to go, so we couldn't adjust that course. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I need something to wipe the board, so bear with me 2 seconds. All right. Okay. So that's talking about understanding where you want to go. Cool. Now, that's just an analogy for planes, right? But you think about that with your life, and this is what happens for most people, is they never actually think about this, and this is one of the most important things you can do for your life. It is so crucial. So, we're going to categorize life into seven basic areas. 7 basic areas. So you've got, well, that's not a great pen. Looks like we're going with orange. 1, physical health. 2, not all of these are going to be relevant to you, but as you get older, this is a very, very good list to go through. The second one we're going to look at will be relationships. And that could be with boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. It could be with friends. It could be with family, whatever it may be. That doesn't really matter too much what that is. It's just relationships in general. Very, very, very important part of your life. If you never pay attention to that, chances are you're probably not going to be super happy and you're going to be disappointed a lot of the time. Very important to dedicate time to this area of your life. Third one we're going to look at is finances or money, right? Also, very, very important area of your life. If you never pay attention to this, chances are you're probably going to end up whinging about why you don't have enough money, or you're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do because you haven't paid any attention to it. You have to pay attention to the areas of your life that you want to be amazing. If you neglect them, you're not going to get any results. It's like if, let's stick with planes, right, or cars for that example. If you were on that plane flying over to New York and you knew your destination, but they never ever checked the safety for the plane. They didn't know if all the screws and bolts were tightened. They didn't know if there was fuel in it. They didn't know if there was oil. They didn't know if the engines were working properly. They didn't do any maintenance on the engine, and then bang, it explodes midair. And then you sit there thinking, oh, I shouldn't have exploded. But you haven't been checking it. You haven't been paying attention. You haven't been maintaining the things that need to be maintained for you to land at that destination safely. So it's very important. These are like your gauges. Like in the car, you'll see, you know how there's in the car when you're driving the car, there's the speedo, so you know how fast you're going, so that you're driving the limits that's safe for the area. There's also your fuel. You've got different warning lights coming on. If fuel gets too low, if there's a problem with the engine or something like that. This is what this is. This is like your dashboard for life, right? Ooh, that's a good word. Cool. Finances and money. After that, we look at business or career. So business, you definitely don't have to have a business. Like you don't have to have your own business if you just want to work for someone. There's a job that you're really passionate about. That's definitely fine as well. After that, we've got personal Social. And this is like fun goals, you know, it might be like skydiving or traveling or going out with friends every week or being on a sporting team, things like that. Sport, if you want to be professional in sport, then that can tie in there as well. But it's more just like your fun stuff, right? Then we've got spirituality, or let's say faith as well. Cool. I don't want to say religion there. If you're religious, that's completely fine. That's where this would go in. It would be your religion, but your belief in whatever it may be. If you believe in, if you don't have a belief yet because you haven't worked it out, you haven't come up with something for you, that's completely fine. None of this is fixed. It's always going to change. So if you don't have a fixed belief now, it's not a bad thing. If you're Catholic, cool. That would be like a spirituality or a belief. If you're Christian, if you're Anglican, if you're just a spiritual person, if you're Buddhist, if you practice Islam, none of them are right or wrong. It's just, well, you know, some people will believe that theirs are the only one. I'm not of that persuasion. I think everyone will find things that are right for themselves. And this is just about finding out what's right for you and going with that. So that's why I use the word spirituality, because it's pretty neutral. It doesn't have any real ties to anything. If you don't believe in anything like that and you think that everything just happened by chance, cool, that's fine as well. You don't really have to worry about that section. And the other one here is also they're all very important. Mental or intellect, which is like your brain. It's like learning, right? So that area of your life. And you think about all of these are different planes, all right? But all of them, or maybe they're different sections on the same plane, right? You want them all sort of geared in a specific direction. This is the framework that I use. This is the framework that some of the most successful people in the world use to set goals. One of the things that you may learn later, well, you're going to learn it with me because I'm going to tell you, but there's, in the world that we live in, there's a lot of people, right? A lot of people. But there's a few of the people that make most of the decisions. So if this was, let's draw this, see if that, yeah, it should work. So let's say this is the world's population, right? This is everyone in the world in that big circle. So it's like a big pie, all right? This amount of the pie there makes decisions for the rest of the pie. 2%. So 2% of the world's population makes the decisions that really affect the rest of the world. Okay? 2% of the world's population controls 98% of the money in the world as well. One of the things that those people have in common that are in this 2%, this very, very small amount of people, is that they have a vision for their life and they have goals. This framework I learned from people who are in that little sliver, all right? Because that's the part that I want to be in. I want to be in that. Hopefully make it a little bit bigger, but I definitely want to be in there. So if you want to be a person that's sort of influential and doing some really cool things and big things in the world, then using this as a framework is really, really helpful. Now, because you're young, I understand that you don't have to stress about doing all of these. I mean, at the moment, this would be one, this would be one. You might have ideas about this. Maybe you've got ideas there. Maybe you've got ideas there. These might be anything that you're worried about. But just do the things that make sense for you for now. And rather than writing out specific goals and things like that, I don't want any of that to happen. What I want you to do is write a story. So I want you to write yourself a story about what your life is going to be like in 10 years' time. So you're the character of the story. You're the main character. And I want you to imagine, sit there and just think about what exactly is your life going to look like in 10 years' time. But in that story, you want to do your best to cover all of these. So if you're 10 years old now, that means, and let's say your name's Ruby. So Ruby's the main character of the story. So my name's Ruby. I'm 20 years old. When I'm 20 years old, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, and I want you to make big story. Go into detail. So maybe like Ruby's walking into a house, she's opening this big wooden door that's 3 meters long and 4 meters high with really high ceilings in her house. And she's got a cook that's there. She's got cleaners cleaning the house. She's got beautiful marble floors and pillars in the house. She's got a husband there that's looking after her and little kids running around. Well, maybe not at 20, right? Might be jumping the gun on that one. It's like none of it's right or wrong. This is purely just you and what you would like for your life at that time. It might be completely different. Like when I was 20, I just wanted to travel. I wanted to get out of Australia. I wanted to go to different countries. So that might be the thing. It might be like, you know, if it was Joe, right, and I was 10 and I would have been doing this, it would have been something like going to different countries, experiencing different cultures, any of those things. So what I want you to do is just go and spend some time writing down in detail, right? You want to do about 5 pages. You want to write like a 5-page story about how exactly you would like your life to be in 10 years' time. And then once you've done it, I want you to read it and give yourself a score out of 10 for how excited that story makes you. If you give yourself a 7 out of 10, it's a boring story and you need to go and make it better. So go back and read the parts of the story that aren't exciting enough. Make them more exciting and then go and do it again and give yourself another score. And maybe it's better than a 7 now, maybe it's a 9. Cool, still not good enough. It has to be a 10. You have to be writing this story for yourself in 10 years' time about how you want your life to be, and you need to be excited. It needs to be captivating. It needs to be thrilling for you. Nothing that you write down is right or wrong. It's purely you imagining how you would like your life to be, what you would like to have in there, maybe who you would like to have in there, and the feelings that you would get from that. Very, very important. All I want you to do is just go write it down, get it out, get a story that you're excited about and that makes you excited, right? Like, oh, this is where my life could be. There's no limitations, absolutely no limitations. So please don't think you're limited because of money or because of your family or because of nothing. There are 0 limitations. Go and write it down as though you're writing a movie, but you're the main character of the movie, okay? Just go and write it down. Make it as exciting as you possibly can. About, 4 or 5 pages, whatever you do. Spend some time doing this. Have some fun with it. Make it exciting, and I'd love you to share it with me. So if you're in my classes, you can share it with me personally. If not, jump on Facebook, share it for me on here. If you've got my email, I'd love you to email it to me too so I can read it. But if you don't want to, that's cool. It's for you. It's just for you to do, and it's a really, really fun exercise to think about it. So share with me what you think about this exercise. Let me know how it goes for you, and let me know if this all makes sense. Okay. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy it.